Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we are in the last Brahmanam of the third chapter, which is Shakalya Brahmanam. So Shakalya is the one who questioned Yajnavalkya here. In fact, the story starts in the beginning of the chapter, where Janaka has called all the Brahmanas from the Kuru and Panchala Desha also. And then he is offering 1,000 cows with some gold also tied to their horns, and says that whoever is the best Brahmana here, whoever is the greatest Pandita, most knowledgeable, can take all these cows. And then Yajnavalkya goes and takes. In fact, he tells his students, his disciples, to take the cows away. Then all the other Brahmanas, they are all offended. Okay, they say, how can you take all these cows? Do you think you are the greatest here? Then Yajnavalkya gives a very interesting answer at that time. He says that, no, I just need all these cows. I am only Pashukamaha. I don't claim that I am the best. Then, but somebody cannot take it away unless they are the greatest there. So the whole debate starts, correct, with different people. So here, each person then comes and starts asking him questions, different people. Finally, this Shakalya is asking now. In fact, Shakalya portion also is over now. We have come after that. And Shakalya asked many questions to Yajnavalkya. Then Yajnavalkya asks him about this Brahman, this Atma, and he is not able to answer. In fact, his head falls off. His dead body also does not reach his home. Okay. So that story ended. Then afterwards, Yajnavalkya starts talking to the assembled Brahmanas. He then gives them an option. Any of you here, you can question me, or all of you as a group also can question me, or I will ask any of you questions. So any one of you can answer, or all of you also can answer. Okay, if I ask you some questions like this, he gives an option. Okay, Yajnavalkya. Even then, nobody is ready to open their mouth. I think after the death of Shakalya, they are all afraid. They are all shocked. So none of them said anything. Then Yajnavalkya himself starts. Actually, he wants to ask a question, but before that, he starts this 28. Correct? After 27, the 28th is actually divided into 7 portions. You can see all these 7 put together is the 28th Vakya here. Here, Yajnavalkya himself starts saying these shlokas, where he is comparing the vriksha with a jiva. Okay. So an individual being, a human being, and a tree. So what is the comparison? In fact, many things are compared here. If you see, so the starting is that the Vanaspati is, how the Vanaspati is, similarly the Purusha also. Okay. And that is true, Amrisha. Okay. And what are all the comparisons? Like the Parnani, correct? The leaves of the tree, or the hairs on the body of the person. First comparison is that similarity or comparison is that the leaves and the hair are compared. Then the skin of the person, twak, and the utpatika, it is said, which is the outer portion of the bark, you can say, they both are compared. Okay. And then third comparison is if you cut the skin, blood comes. Similarly, if you cut the bark of the tree, the sap comes out, correct? So like that, there also there is a similarity is shown. Then fourth is what? The inner bark, shakara it is called, shakarani or shakalani. Bhashyakara, in fact, shakarani is chandasam. Bhashyakara makes it shakalani, is the mamsa, the flesh. So the muscles, flesh, all these things are compared to the inner bark of the tree. Then within that also there is one portion in the tree that is called kinatam here, and that is compared to the snavaha. Snavaha means all these tendons and sinews, you can say, which connects the muscle to the bone, correct? So the three portions of the tree are compared to the skin, the flesh, and the sinews or the tendons. Then finally the wood which is there, correct? After you go through all these different barks and the soft portion on top of the wood, the actual wood is there, which we call vairam in Tamil, correct? Vairam means it is like a diamond. It is the hardest part of the tree trunk. That is compared to the bones here, asti. Okay, the daru. Daru is the wood. Daruni, astini. And then within the bone also, we have a majja, which is the marrow. And in the tree also, there is a comparable thing within the wood also. That is also called majja only. So like this, all these comparisons are made between the tree and the human being. So the first three shlokas, we saw all these things already. Then, but there is a difference also is being brought out here. And the question itself is whether is there any difference or not. If there is no difference, how do you explain that? That's how the whole thing is. So what is the difference? The difference in the fourth shloka here we saw is that if you cut the tree and if the roots are still there, the tree will grow back, correct? Or the tree can even come back from a cutting also. It can even develop roots and come back. But if the human being is dead, okay, human being is cut by mrityu, by death, from where does this human being come back again? Or whether the human being even comes back or not? All these things are questions. Okay. Now, one possible answer for this also was given. I think we saw this also. Is that Retasaha means you can say that the human being comes from the Retas, the seed, the sperm. Means that answer Yajnavalkya gives that and then doesn't accept it. He says Ma Vochata, you cannot say that. Why? Because the Retas itself comes from a living being, not from a dead person. So there is a question, then that Jiva came from where? Like that it will go into an infinite regress. So you cannot say, in the case of the tree also you can say the same thing. Tree also can come from a bija, correct? From a seed. That's not the thing we are discussing here. In fact, that also is a similarity between a human being and tree you can take. Because the jiva produces the seed and seed again can be the karana for another jiva and all that. That is fine. That scenario is there in the tree also. Okay, tree also can definitely grow from the seed. So that is not the answer we are talking about. We are talking, if you take both the seed and the tree have come from where? That is the idea here. That is the moola. What is the root cause? That's what is being discussed here, or that's what is being questioned. What is the root cause? Is the question here which Yajnavalkya wants the assembled Brahmanas to answer. So you cannot say it has come from the Retas. Okay. So up to this we saw in the previous class. Now continuing, he says, Yat samulam avruheyuhu vriksham na punarabhavet martyaha swin mrityuna vriknaha kasmat mulat prarohati. So the other option here is that even the tree does not come. Okay. Somebody can say, no, why are you doing all this discussion? I can destroy the entire tree. Not only that, I cut the trunk. I dig the ground, pull out the root and burn everything, maybe, let us say. Okay. That also is a possibility, correct? So you destroy something along with the roots means then it cannot come. But that is not what we are discussing here. That it will not come back in that case, we also accept. Okay. So that is what here, yet samulam avriheyuhu vriksham. So if you uproot the tree along with the roots, let us say, then it will not come back. That is fine. That's not the scenario we are discussing here. What we are discussing here, or what is the question is, even if you cut the tree, if the roots are there, it is coming back. Similarly, if the human being also dies, if some root cause is there, means that human being has to come back. What is that? From where does the human being come back or take another birth? That is the question here. We are not talking about the destruction of the root itself. If the root itself is destroyed, then there is no rebirth. We accept that. Because here the idea is that there is ajnanam. Correct? This whole birth, death, rebirth, all this cycle is only in the realm of ignorance, ajnanam. And therefore, within that only we are now, the discussion is happening. If the ajnana itself is destroyed, like the root of the tree is destroyed, then there cannot be any punaragamanam. It cannot come back, or it cannot be reborn. That's not what we are asking here. So, if the root is still there and it is destroyed, like the tree trunk is cut and like that, okay, whatever is manifest alone is destroyed. The potential is still there. If it is still there, from where does it come back? Kasmat mulat prarohati. So martyaha swin mrityuna vriknaha. So the martyaha, that which is mortal, subjected to death, when it is cut by the mrityu, death, okay, again where does it come back from? That is the question. So the question is basically the root is still there. Okay, and what is that root? So let's see the Bhashya here. Yat yadi. So here yat is yadi, if sahamulena dhanaya va avrheyuhu. So samulam means Bhashyakara here adds one more thing, dhanaya also. Along with the seed also you destroy everything. Okay, there are no seeds, there are no roots. Okay, avrheyuhu means uchchedyeyuhu, you uproot it, you destroy it. Utpatayeyuhu, he says. Vriksham. So the tree you have destroyed in this manner, okay, completely you destroy, okay, with its root and its seed and all that, means it cannot sprout anymore, okay. Na punara bhave, punaragatya na bhave, it cannot be born again and be there. Therefore, tasmad vaha prichami, therefore we ask you now, what? Sarvasya eva jagataha moolam. So this entire world's root cause, okay, the root cause of this entire world, from what root does it spring forth? So basically, when I am asking you, from which cause does this jiva come back after the death, okay, after he is cut short by the death, means the question is about the sarvasya jagataha moolam, okay, about the cause of this entire world. That is the question. So sarvasya jagataha moolam martyaha svit mrityuna vriknaha kasmat moolat prarohati. So from which moola, which is also the moola of the entire world, okay, not only about one jiva, it is the question. So Bhashyakara is giving a certain context here. So from where does it come? Now the final shloka is the most important one. Continuing what? Jata eva. Okay, now another kind of answer is given. Somebody is saying it is always born. Means it is always there. Means it need not be born again. Okay. So jata eva iti, means this is called swabhava vada also, some people say, correct? Means either you can say it is always there. For example, if you take the entire creation, there is a swabhava vada which says that the creation is always like this. That means it is not a creation, in fact. Because creation means it was not there in this form before and it has to come into being, correct? The pot was not there, then the potter created the pot, then pot is there now, we say. But somebody comes and says, no, that may be true in the case of things within the creation, but as a whole, the creation is always there. The creation was always like this only. So it is not a creation really, that means. If it is not even a creation, you don't need a creator. Understand that. Some Nirishwara, in fact, our Purva Mimamsakas talk like that. They are all Nirishwaravadi. Although they accept Vaidika Karma, they accept Papa Punya, that Punya takes you to Swarga, etc. The Karana and Karya, okay, the cause effect is only within the creation. You cannot extend it to the creation itself. The creation is always as it is. This is one vada is there like this. I think even the Jains talk like that. That's why they don't have an Ishvara. So they don't require a creator of the universe because universe is not a creation. This is a valid argument, okay? In fact, that is why we have to say purely logically, you cannot establish Ishvara. Because the Nayayikas, they actually make a lot of effort to say that through Anumana alone, Ishvara can be established. But that is not possible. Only Anumana is not possible. We have to fall back on the Shruti. Shruti Sammata Tarka is fine still. But Anumana itself, Tarka requires a Pratishtha, correct? Either it has to stand on perception, but in the case of the creation of the universe, perception cannot be a valid means of knowledge for that, correct? So you have to only fall back on Shruti. Shruti Pramanam has to be there because by itself, Tarkasya Apratishthanat, like that it is said. Okay, there is a Brahma Sutra also. So tarka cannot stand by itself. Any inference has to stand either on perceptual knowledge, prior perceptual knowledge, or it has to stand on Shruti Pramana, the Shastra. So tarka alone, you cannot do that. So that way, if you see, if the Shruti is not brought into the picture, Jata eva, somebody can say that it is always born and it is always there like this only. So you do not require any moolam. You do not require a creator because the world is not an effect. Only if it is an effect, you require a cause. If it is not even an effect, then why do you require a cause? Why are you even asking this question? Your question is irrelevant. It is meaningless, correct? So, Jata eva, if somebody says means, then Yajnavalkya does not accept. He presents this argument also, Jata eva, and then says, na, okay? He says, na, no, I do not accept that it is always born like this. It is actually created only, and therefore the question is relevant. So he doesn't give any big argument here, okay, for this, because I think it is very clear from Shruti Pramana that the world is created. There is a creator. So he doesn't give a big argument in this case. He says na. So he doesn't accept that Swabhavavada. And then he goes on. He says, he then asks, Jayate kaha nu enam janayet punaha. So Jayate, it is born. Okay. And so now, nu means now you can take indeed like that. Nu is a particle. So kaha enam janayet punaha. Who is the one who creates? In fact, the entire world also in Pralaya, it is gone, we say, correct? Like that, the Jiva also is gone after death. But the entire world also comes back because for us, creation itself is a cycle. In fact, creation also is only a provisional word even for a Vedanta. There is no real creation in the sense that something was never there before and it has come newly. Understand? That also you have to be clear. For a Vedantin, creation is nothing but the unmanifest becoming manifest. So the unmanifest means it is in potential state. And then it becomes manifest, means it is differentiated and it is available for cognition. So the unmanifest becoming manifest is creation. Manifest becoming unmanifest again, or going back into a potential state, is destruction, you can say, correct? Pralayam, layam, resolution also you can say, rather than destruction. So something is manifest, it sustains, it resolves, and again it is manifest. So that is a cycle. So this cycle is there. So from where does it manifest again? Where does it come back again, or from where is it born again? Okay. That is the question he asks again, and after this, nobody is able to answer this. None of the Brahmanas who were there, they knew the answer for this. They did not know about Brahman. Okay. Only Yajnavalkya knew the answer. But according to Bhashyakara, the Akhyayika story ends here with this Vakya. Okay. And Yajnavalkya also did not answer the Brahmanas there. He left with the cows because he answered all the questions which were asked to him. Then finally he has asked a question now. None of these Brahmanas were able to answer that. Means he has now won. He has proved to everybody that he is the greatest Pandita. And so he goes along with his cows. The story is over. But then we all want to know, correct? What is the Mula? What is the answer to the question of Yajnavalkya? Means Shruti now comes and gives the answer to us. The story is over. Yajnavalkya does not give the answer anymore. But Shruti, being the Karunamayi, compassionate Shruti, now gives the answer. And in fact, it is one of the most important Vakya here, with Bhashyakara quotes everywhere. What is that? What is this Moolam? Means Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahman alone is the Moolam. Vijnanam Anandam. And what kind of Brahman, or what is the Lakshana of this Brahman? It is Vijnanam. It is Anandam Brahma. In fact, the word Sachidanandam is very popular, correct? People are even named as Sachidananda. Not only sannyasis, even normal people, Sachidanandam is a name. It's quite commonly there, even in Tamil Nadu. Sachidanand. In fact, I used to have a friend in college, Sachidanand Tripathi. Okay. So Sachidanand or Sachidanandam in Tamil Nadu is a common name. And even like if you take some English books, paperback and all, they talk about it, correct? Brahman is existence, knowledge and bliss. Like this, Brahman is talked about in that manner, existence, knowledge and bliss. But this Satchid Ananda does not come together in the Upanishad. That is the thing. Separately, you have Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is there in Taittiriya Upanishad. In Taittiriya Upanishad itself, in some other places, Anandam Brahma is there. Anandam Brahmeti Vyajanat Anandadhyeva Khal Vimani Bhuta Nijayante Anande Najata Nijivanti. All that is there. Anandam Prayanti Abhisamvishanti. So Anandam Brahma is there separately. Like here also, Vijnanam Anandam Brahma is there. And Satyam Jnanam Anantam is there. But generally, instead of Ananta, Ananda is used as a Lakshana of Brahman. That is because Ananda is the Purushartha. Understand that. In fact, my Guruji used to say, Ananta is really Ananda. He used to make a beautiful connection between the limitlessness and Ananda. That is because this Ananda also cannot be an experiential Ananda. In fact, Bhashyakara is going to have a discussion on that. There is a big Bhashya here. You can see he is having he's actually having a discussion and then finding out the meaning. What does this Ananda mean? In fact, he says Sukham Samvedyam. Samvedya means something which is known, which is experienced. When we say Brahman is Vijnanam Anandam, is it experiential pleasure, Sukham, or is it something else? Then the Purvapakshi comes and says, why are you even discussing all that? Shruti is the Pramana. Shruti says it is Anandam, means it is experiential Ananda only. There is no need of any discussion. Then Bhashyakara says, no, there is a requirement of discussion, because in other places it is said that Brahman cannot be known, correct? As an object. Brahman is not something, it's not an object of any knowledge, any cognition. Kenakam Pashyet, Kenakam Vijaniyat, all that we have also seen already. It is Aprameya. Then how can you say it is Ananda, Samvedya Ananda? It cannot be a Sukha which is experienced by you. Anything which is experienced is not Brahman. It's not Atma. So what is the real meaning of this Ananda? Like this, there is a discussion, beautiful discussion, we will see that. But here we have to understand both these words, Vijnanam and Anandam, since they are Brahma Lakshana, they have to be reconciled with how Brahman itself is revealed. Brahman is revealed as limitless. Brahman is revealed as not being anything which you can, it is revealed as Neti Neti, correct? It is not any object In fact, it cannot be any one object. It cannot be object of any cognition. Then it will become limited, in fact. So, keeping all these things in mind, we have to give a meaning to all these words which are really revealing the nature of Brahman. So, when we say Vijnanam, it is not again the action of knowing, correct? It is not Jnana Kriya. Normally, when we say I knew or knowledge, I have knowledge and all that, that knowledge is the result of Jnana Kriya. Because you operate either your sense organs and gain knowledge, correct? The operation of that sense organ, the Pramana Vyapara itself is called as Jnana. Or you do some Anumana in your mind. That also is mental activity. So that result of that mental activity is Jnanam. And that mental activity itself can be taken as Jnanam also. So like this, the word knowledge is associated with activity, and Ananda also is associated with experiential Sukha, correct? That which you can experience, some pleasure. But these two, in the context of Brahman, cannot mean what we normally understand. So we have to actually understand it along with all other lakshanas of Brahman also and reconcile them properly. When we do that, then we have to say Vijnanam is really Vijnaptihi. Jnanam is Jnaptihi, like that Bhashyakara gives a meaning. Jnaptihi means what? Awareness alone. It's objectless awareness. It is consciousness to which everything becomes evident. It is not a pramana vyapara. It is to whom, after the pramana vyapara, to whom it becomes evident, whatever is evident. That is Brahman. It is objectless awareness, consciousness. It is only consciousness alone. It's not any kind of kriya or anything. Whether anything is known or not known, it is always there. That's why it is alupta drik, we say, correct? So, drishte drashtaram it is. It is the seer of the sight itself, hearer of hearing. Like that also we give revealing vakyas, correct? So, Vijnanam here is not any jnana kriya, it is Vijnaptihi. Similarly, Anandam also is not some bubbling bliss or anything. A bliss word itself, in fact, my Guruji used to avoid for Ananda. But normally in English translation, Ananda is translated as bliss. It is better to not translate it as bliss. Bliss means, again, people think it is some kind of ecstatic feeling, correct? Which is experienced. But it is not some ecstatic feeling, or again, many people even equate it with some bliss in meditation and all that. So you do a lot of meditation, then in meditation, in the white heat of meditation, you feel some bliss. But if you come out of the meditation, the bliss is gone. If that is the case, it cannot be Brahmananda. Understand that. That which is gone, that which comes in time and goes in time is not Brahmananda. However ecstatic it may be. Understand that. Then what is the meaning of this Ananda? Means Anandam is Brahman alone, in the sense that it is not something which is coming as a manovritti or anything. But even the Ananda manovritti itself is there only because Brahman is Ananda. Understand it. It is the source of all happiness. And even our own happiness, if you take, this is where our Pujya Swamiji, my Guruji, used to beautifully also link it with Ananta. See, all our issues are born out of a certain self-judgment that I am a limited being. Whichever way I look at myself, once you identify yourself with the body, mind, sense complex, that identity itself is ignorance. Understand that? That identity is the greatest error in our life. So that when that identity is there, whichever way you look at yourself, from the standpoint of body, mind, sense complex, you are a limited being. And you are not able to accept your own limitation. Therefore, there is dukkha. Even if you experience some sukha, that sukha also is limited, correct? Because it will be there only for some time. So even the sukha we experience is limited. And that itself becomes a cause for dukkha. Because some people may even have this feeling that even when they are enjoying something, they may think, how long will this last? Will I be able to enjoy like this tomorrow? Means no, you cannot. In fact, every day your ability to enjoy is also going down, correct? Your sense organs are not functioning in the same manner. In my 20s, my sense organs were functioning in a different manner. Now I need already I need a glass to see, read. Okay. I had one of the best eyesights at that time in my youth. I had better than 6/6. But now I need a glass to even read. General eyesight may be okay still, but for reading I require. Even in all other manner, correct? You are not the same. Your ability to enjoy something also is going down. But not only that, there is a law of diminishing returns also in whatever you enjoy. So you enjoy something today, first time you enjoy something, it is great. Okay. The 100th time, it is not the same. In fact, it is true of even music, correct? Whatever is a hit song today is not a hit song after 1 week also. Every week, in fact, the billboard changes. The hit, whatever the hit songs are there, they keep on changing. So there is a law of diminishing returns in what you enjoy, and also your ability to enjoy also is diminishing all the time. Okay. So this is something we have to understand. So this kind of ananda is not meant by the ananda with reference to Brahman. If you take Brahman's ananda is knowing that you are not even limited, because all my dukkha is based on the wrong understanding that I am limited, correct? So what is the Brahmananda when we talk about in the context of Brahman? When we say ananda, it is ananda because it is not limited in any which manner. Means it is, if you take yourself as a limited person, means you are a wanting being. Once you become a wanting person, then only you have desire to fulfill the wants, you go after something. But even if you fulfill the desire, it doesn't last forever. So you are forever a wanting person. Being a wanting person itself is dukkha. Even though you may experience some sukha now and then, in fact, that's what keeps us alive, I think. Otherwise, if somebody thinks that there is no scope of any ananda, they may even commit suicide. Correct? Many people think like that. In this life, I have no scope for any ananda. Means what? Then, okay, done. I may as well finish it off. So, this ananda with reference to Brahman is what is that? It is that you are not a wanting person anymore. You are not a limited being. And in fact, you are the source of even the ananda which you experience. You are the source of all the experiential ananda. And you are limitless. You are not a wanting person anymore. That is the ananda which is talked about. That is the Brahma Lakshana, in fact. Brahman itself is that ananda. Understand that. It's not something you experience. It is something you know about yourself. You are that Ananda. You are the one uh, whom you can love without any conditions. Everything else, this also we saw previously in Maitreyi Brahmanam also. The Ananda was discussed, correct? And Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, it was said. Everything else is only loved, or it is pleasing. Everything else is pleasing only if it pleases you, correct? So Atmanastu Kamaya, everything is only for the pleasure of me, the Atma. But Atma itself is unconditionally loved. Everything else has a condition that it has to please me. So our Paramartha ji used to give one example. He used to say that even if you take matrimony, it seems he saw an advertisement that a farmer with whatever 5 acres land is looking for a bride with a tractor. Means even the wife also is only pleasing only if the wife is having a tractor or whatever. Tractor is only one characteristic or one lakshana, but it can be anything else. That's why even Pujya Swamiji used to say love of something initially, but later on you allow it to go. Love ends in allowing it to go away. So these are all some things we have to be clear. Here Ananda, this Vijnanam Anandam Brahma is not an experiential Ananda. That you have to be very clear. This point, as a Vedantic student, you have to be very clear, because there is lot of confusion in this. In fact, many other people can also come and confuse you. If you read any book also, you can get confused in this. So you have to be careful about this usage of the word Ananda here. And Bhashyakara, in fact, will also argue and establish the meaning of Ananda properly as not a Samvedya. It is not something experienced. That is the most important thing we have to understand. So Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. So Shruti now comes and says this Vijnanam Anandam Brahma alone is the Moola, from where everything, the entire Srishti, even if it goes into a potential state, or even if the Jiva goes into a potential state, it comes back. From where means Brahman. But of course, this Brahman we have to understand Mayaya Saha. Whenever we talk about Brahman as Jagat Karanam, that Jagat Karanatvam also is Mithya. We have to understand that very clearly. Brahman by itself is Nirgunam, Nishkriyam. And even Karanatvam cannot be attributed to Brahman. But from the standpoint of the Srishti, we have to say Brahman is the Jagat Karanam. And the Srishti itself is Adhyastam, obviously. So the Srishti Prakriya itself is used in the methodology of Adhyaropa Apavada only, because we have to account for the Srishti. Understand that. We have to account for the experience of the subject-object duality. So it is deliberately superimposed that Brahman is the Jagat Karanam, and then the Srishti is shown as Mithya. So once the Karya becomes Mithya, the Karanatvam of Brahman also becomes Mithya. And Brahman is as it is. Okay. So that also is important to understand. So this Brahman is important for both the Ajnani and the Jnani. That's what the next portion in the Shruti points out. Ratir Dhatuhu Parayanam. So this Brahman is the Parayana for the ones who are desirous of Karma Phala. Ratir Dhatu. It is the Karma Phala Data. Brahman is the Karma Phala Data. And Karma is the one which accounts for the Jiva coming back again and again and again. Correct? We talk about Karma. So the karma phala data is Brahman. So Brahman is the basis for karma also. So even for Ajnani, it is the Parayana, it is the ultimate goal. But for the Jnani, Tad Vidaha, but the one who knows this Brahman and who is not interested in any karma, that Jnani is established in Brahman itself, because Brahma with Brahmaiva bhavati. So tad tishtamanasya tadvidaha parayanam. So even for the one who is established in this Brahman and who knows this Brahman, Brahman is the ultimate goal or ultimate end. Okay. So tishtamanasya tadvidaha iti. So this portion, Shruti itself answers the question of Yajnavalkya, and with this chapter is over. Of course, the Bhashya is still there. We'll quickly see a portion of the Bhashya at least today, and then we'll complete it next week. So Jata eva iti manyadhvam yadi. So this is that Swabhavavada I talked about. So let us say that it is always like this only, it is born. Means it need not be created newly. Kimatra prashtavyam. That's what. Then where is the question? Okay, you cannot ask what is the mula and all that. Okay. So he explains that Janishyamanasya hi sambhavaha prashtavyaha. So only if something is not there and if it is born, then you can ask a question. Na jatasya. If something is always there, then you cannot say that you cannot ask the question when was it created or from where it was created, etc. So that is the Swabhavavad. So world is always like this, means it's not a creation. But that we do not accept, because the Shruti Pramana is very clear. Ayantu jataha eva. So jataha eva. Ataha asmin vishaye prashnaha eva na upapadyate iti chet na. So if you say there is no question here, the question cannot be asked, it is irrelevant. Okay, in this matter, this prashna is not tenable. If you say, if the question is not tenable, like that, if you say, means no, we do not agree. So there we do not give any big reason. Na, that's all is there. Na. Kim tari, then what means what? Mritaha punaha api jayate eva. In fact, Bhashyakara gives a reason for that. Okay, what is the reason? Of course, some people may not accept this also, but Bhashyakara gives. So he says, Mritaha punaha api jayate eva anyatha akrita abhyagama kritanasha prasanga. So if you say, okay, there are two strands here. Some people within the Srishti, they accept Karana Karya and all that, even karma. Even Jains talk about karma, but their karma theory is totally different. Okay. They talk about karma as a material and all that. Very interesting. Anyway, but the entire Srishti itself is always like this. That is one thing. Some others say that everything is random. Okay. Some Buddhists, they say that the Karana itself they do not accept. So, Asat Karanavadi they are called. Means everything is random. But that also we cannot accept, because if you say something, it has to be in keeping with our perception, correct? So Bhashyakara argues with the Asat Karanavadi that if you say like that, then from a mango seed, some Ashwatha tree should come, correct? It is not like that. There is a certain, we see that the mango seed only produces a mango sapling, and Ashwatha bija only produces Ashwatha tree. So there is a certain vyavastha is there. You cannot totally say that everything is random and it is just born in an accident and all that, as an accident or whatever incident. So that is not possible. So once you accept the Karana Karya, then the jivas, whatever the janma, the Karana is karma. And once you accept karma, even when the jiva is gone, karma is still there. It has to fructify. then we say another body has to be taken. Why? Because the Krita Nasha is not possible. Avashyam Bhavi, we say. The karma has to fructify, definitely. Whatever karma is there, it cannot be destroyed just like that. It can be destroyed only by experiencing the results of that karma. So Krita Nasha is not possible. Similarly, whatever karma is there, even though it may not immediately fructify, it will fructify. Okay, it has to fructify. Akrita Abhyagamaha means what? This also Akrita Abhyagamaha means whatever you did not do has come to you. That is also not possible. And whatever you have done, it will come to you, the phala. It cannot be destroyed. So whatever you have not done, it will not come to you. Whatever you have done, you cannot escape from that. Okay, this is the niyati, this is the law. So akrita abhyagama and krita nasha is not possible. Therefore, a jiva has to be born. Even if this body is gone, the jiva has to take another body. And so that based on that logic, the Swabhavavada cannot be accepted. In fact, all the Vaidika darshanas have to accept this, and most other people also accept this, except for Charvaka, who does not talk about any karma. Even Buddhists and Jainas, they talk about karma in some manner, but the way they talk about is very interesting. So they talk about in a different manner. So this part, Bhashyakara gives a logic for this, and then Ataha Vaha Prichami. Therefore, we ask you now, what? This question. Kahanu Yenam Janayet Punaha. So Kahanu Yenam Ritam, the whatever is dead, Punaha Janayet. So which is the one which again brings whatever is dead back to life? Means then he asked this question now, finally, Yajnavalkya. Tat na vijagnyuhu brahmanaha. The brahmana did not know the answer for this. Yataha mritaha punaha prarohati jagataha moolam na vijnatam brahmanaihi. So Bhashyakara explains that. So from where all the whatever is dead comes back, okay, again it is born. And that which is the jagataha moolam, which is the cause of this entire world, all these brahmanas, they did not know that. Na vijnatam. Ataha brahmanishtatvat hrita gavaha. Therefore what? But Yajnavalkya knows that. He is a Brahma, Brahmishta. So Brahmishtatvat, sorry, not Brahmanishtatvat, Brahmishtatvat. Brahmishta means what? He is the greatest Brahmana here. So therefore what? Yajnavalkya is the greatest. Okay. So they did not know, and he is the best among Brahmana. Brahmishta. It is the superlative degree. Okay, Brahmishtam. So Brahmishtatvat Hrita Gavaha. So he took away all the cows. So Yajnavalkyena Jita Brahmana. All these Brahmanas were defeated by Yajnavalkya. Samapta Akhyayika. The story is over with this. Okay. And Yajnavalkya did not answer also. He asked the question finally, and they did not know the answer. He took away the cows. That's it. The story is over. Now what? Yet Jagataha Moolam, Yena cha Shabdena, Sakshat Vyapadishyate Brahma. So that which is the cause of this entire world, and by those words through which this Brahman is revealed to us. Correct? It is taught. Yet Yajnavalkya Brahmanan Prishtavan. That which was asked by Yajnavalkya to the Brahmana, Tat Swena Rupena Shrutihi Asmabhyam Aha. That is said by the Shruti. Okay, by itself, the Shruti now tells to us. Because Shruti is compassionate, correct? So now Shruti is giving the answer. So this part is not that Yajnavalkya gave this answer to the Brahmanas. No. The story is over here. Now whatever the answer is there, that is given by the Shruti by itself. Swena Rupena. Shrutihi Asmabhyam Aha. What is Shruti? How it is revealing? Vijnanam, Vijnaptihi. So as I told you, Vijnaptihi, Nyaptihi. So it is the knowledge in abstract sense. Okay, it is not a jnana kriya. It is jnaptihi. So that is the vijnanam here, because the word vijnana is used even within Vedanta in many meanings. Even if you take Bhagavad Gita, jnanam, vijnanam, and all, Bhagavan says, I'll give you both jnana and vijnana. In fact, there is a jnana vijnana yoga chapter itself is there. So, but here, based on the context, we have to correctly understand the word jnanam. So here jnanam is vijnaptihi, tacha anandam, that itself is ananda. Na vishaya vijnanavat dukkhanuviddham. So this ananda is not something which is born out of vishaya or vijnana. And also any other ananda which is born, it is dukkhanuviddham, means what? It is also mixed with some dukkha always. It is not like that. But this ananda is how Bhashyakara explains it beautifully. Kim tarhi prasannam shivam atulam anayasam nityatriptam ekarasam ityarthaha. So like this ananda is brahmananda. It is not a vishayananda. Okay, and it is not mixed with some dukkha. It is incomparable ananda. It is auspiciousness in itself. Okay, incomparable, effortless also, anayasa. It is always there. It is eternal. It's not something which comes and goes. Okay, so it's nitya triptam. You are always satisfied, and it is ekarasam, means it is homogeneous. It is unchanging. That is the idea. So that is the ananda we are talking about here. It is brahmananda. It is not something, an experiential ananda or bliss. So rest of the Bhashya we will see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.